Good afternoon, everybody. I apologize for the delay. We were running just a little bit behind today, but today we are reading from Captain Underpants starting at chapter 16. Now, we remember last week George and Harold came across Dr. Diaper, and we're going to see what happens from there, okay? Chapter 16, the extremely graphic violence chapter. Warning. The following chapter contains graphic scenes showing two boys beating the tar out of a couple of robots. If you have high blood pressure or if you have a faint or if you faint at the sight of motor oil, we strongly urge you to take better care of yourself and stop being such a baby. Introducing Flip-O-Rama. Here's how it works. As everyone knows, nothing enhances silly action sequences more than really cheesy animation. So, for the first time in the history of great literature, we proudly bring to you the greatest in cheesy animation technology, the art of the Flip-O-Rama. Step 1. Place the left hand inside dotted lines marked left hand here. Hold the book open flat. Step 2. Grasp the right page with your right thumb and index finger inside dotted lines marked right thumb here. And step 3. Now quickly flip the right hand page back and forth until the picture appears to be animated. For extra fun, try adding your own sound effects. Flip-O-Rama 1. Pages 83 and 85. Remember, flip only page 83. While you're flipping, be sure you can see the picture on page 83 and one on 85. If you flip quickly, the two pictures will start to look like one animated picture. Don't forget to add your own sound effects. Robot Rampage. This is actually really difficult to do. So, I do this. Chop, 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 chop. Flip-O-Rama 2, pages 87 and 89. Remember, flip only page 87. While you're flipping, be sure you can see the picture on 87 and the one on 89. If you flip quickly, two pictures will start to look like one animated picture. Don't forget to add your own sound effects. George saves Harold. Whack, 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 whack. Flip-O-Rama 3. We've already read that, so we're going to continue on over here. Harold returns the favor. Whack, 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 whack. And again. Mixed nuts and bolts. Boing, 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 boing. Chapter 17, The Escape. After defeating the robots, George and Harold untied Captain Underpants. "Come on," cried Harold. "Let's get out of here." "Wait," said Captain Underpants. "We have to save the world first." So George, Harold, and Captain Underpants frantically looked all over Lasermatic 2000, searching for a way to shut it down and stop the inevitable disaster. Said Harold. "I think this might be the lever we want." He pulled the self-destruct lever with all his might. Suddenly, the Lasermatic 2000 began to sputter and shake. The huge laser beam turned off, and the pieces of the machine began flying off in all directions. "It's gonna blow!" cried Harold. "Run for your lives!" "Not so fast!" screamed Dr. Diaper, who had appeared out of nowhere. "You demolished my robots, you destroyed my Lasermatic 2000, and you ruined my one chance to take over the world. But you won't live to tell the tale." Dr. Diaper pulled out his Diapermatic 2000 ray gun and pointed it at George, Harold and Captain Underpants. Stretch! Captain Underpants quickly stretched out a pair of underwear and shot it at Dr. Diaper. The underwear landed right on the evil doctor's head. Help! Cried Dr. Diaper. I can't see! I can't see! Snap! George and Harold ran out of the warehouse as fast as they could. Great shot, Captain Underpants, said Harold. There's just one thing I don't understand, said George. Where'd you get the extra pair of underwear? What extra pair, said Captain Underpants. He found a barrel. Never mind that. Let's get out of here before that Lasermatic 2000 thing. Kaboom! Uh-oh. The Lasermatic 2000 blew up, tearing apart the whole warehouse. It sent flaming shards of red-hot metal in every direction. Fire fell from the skies around our heroes, and the earth began to crumble beneath their feet. Oh no! Cried Harold. We're doomed! Boom! Chapter 18. To make a long story short, they got away. Chapter 19. Back to school. George, Harold, and Captain Underpants made a quick stop outside the police station. They tied Dr. Diaper to a lamppost and attached a note to him. There, said Captain Underpants. That ought to explain everything. Arrest me. Back in 15 minutes. Please don't commit any crimes until we return. Thank you. Then George and Harold led Captain Underpants back to Jerome Horwitz Elementary School. Why are we here? Asked Captain Underpants. Well, said George, you have to do some undercover work here. Yeah, said Harold, reaching into his backpack. Put these clothes on and make it snappy. Don't forget your hair, said George. Captain Underpants quickly got dressed behind some bushes. Well, how do I look? He asked. Pretty good, said George. Now try to look really mad. Captain Underpants made the nastiest face he could. You know, said Harold, he kind of looks like Mr. Krupp. Harold, whispered George, he is Mr. Krupp. Oh, yeah, said Harold. I almost forgot. Before long, they were back inside Mr. Krupp's office. Okay, Captain Underpants, said George. You're now Mr. Krupp. Snap your fingers, whispered Harold. Oh, yeah, said George. Snap. You are now Mr. Krupp. Who's Mr. Krupp? Asked Captain Underpants. Oh, no, cried Harold. It's not working. The boys tried again and again to dehypnotize Captain Underpants, but nothing seemed to work. Said Harold. Let me see the instruction manual for that ring. George checked his pants pockets. Said George. I think I lost it. You what? Cried Harold. The two boys searched frantically through the office, but the 3D hypno ring instruction manual was nowhere to be found. Never mind, said George. I have an idea. He removed the flowers from a large vase on the corner and then poured out all of the water over Captain Underpants' head. What did you do that for? Cried Harold. I saw him do it on a cartoon once, said George. So, it's gotta work. After a few minutes, Mr. Krupp slowly came to. What's going on here? He demanded. And why am I all wet? George and Harold had never been so glad to see Mr. Krupp in all their lives. I'm so happy I could cry, said Harold. Well, you're gonna cry when I give that videotape to the football team, shouted Mr. Krupp. I've had it with you too. Principal Krupp took the videotape out of his file cabinet. You boys are dead meat, he sneered. He stormed out of the office with the video and headed towards the gym. George and Harold smiled. Wait till the football team sees that video, said Harold. Yeah, said George. I sure hope they like singing Purple Dragons. Hey, look, said George. I found the 3D hypno ring instruction manual. It was in my shirt pocket, not my pants pocket. Well, throw that thing away, said Harold. We'll never need that again. I sure hope not, said George. Woo. Warning, whatever you do, don't pour water on anybody's head when they are in a trance. This will cause the hypnotized person to slip back and forth from trance to reality whenever they hear the sound of fingers snapping. Uh-oh. Chapter 20. The end. La 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 la, we love Boomer. La 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 la. Things at Jerome Horwitz Elementary School were never quite the same after that fateful day. The football team enjoyed Mr. Krupp's video so much so that they changed their name from the Knuckleheads to the Purple Dragon Sing-Along Friends. The name change didn't go over too well with the fans, but hey, who's going to argue with a bunch of linebackers? George and Harold went back to their old ways, pulling pranks, cracking jokes, and making new comic books. They had to keep an eye on Mr. Krupp, though, because every time, for some strange reason, every time he heard the sound of fingers snapping, Principal Krupp turned back into you know who. Oh no, cried Harold. Here we go again, said George. Tra-la-la. The end. All right, guys, so let me know in the comments, do we want to continue on with book 2, or would we like to read something else? If you think that we would like to read something else, give me some ideas of some books, and we'll figure it out from there, okay, guys? Thank y'all so much for joining us for the past couple weeks to read The Adventures of Captain Underpants. I know I had fun, and I certainly hope that you did too. Y'all have a great day.